Now, you were around Cash Money a lot.
Yes, I was.
How'd you guys hook up initially?
Cash Money and us hooked up through a gentleman, and for some reason his name goes off my head because I'm one of those not aggressive or spur of the moment dudes. And I met Nelly because I was in the audience. I noticed that at one of the tours they had a breakdown time. There was no intermission. So I would go to the guys and say, hey, y'all need to let me perform. I'll go perform, start rocking the crowd. The next thing I know, I was on tour. The same guy that was road manager for Nelly and those guys was also doing stuff for Cash Money. He introduced me to Baby. Baby and them loved me out the gate, took me on a 40, 50 city tour, and I wound up doing their movie called Baller Blocking. And Baller Blocking was an instant hit in the streets. And even to this day, I can't even walk down the street in New Orleans because that's how huge that movie was.
Sure. Now, you've seen the two of them kiss before.
I seen BG and Baby kiss before, and I really thought it was some mob type thing. You know how the mob, they kissed on the cheek? Well, they kissed in the mouth, not tongue or nothing like that. But I really thought it was like, they street code or something like that. So by me being in the streets, I called one of my homies who was my connect down there. And I said, yo, this how y'all do down there? And they was like, nah, Baby just really on some other shit. And I just left it alone from there, to each his own.
Well, I've interviewed Turk before, and he said,
nah, man, we all used to do that shit. That was an in-house thing. Like, nigga used to be like, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, you got love for a nigga, how much you love me. It just was a homeboy thing, you know what I'm saying? They got a lot of clique of niggas might play all kind of games with they niggas in-house, you know what I'm saying? But when the media get to it, they gonna blow it out of proportion. You know how they do it.
Yeah, they wasn't doing that. It was like a pack, but it was uncomfortable because it wasn't, you used to, the mobsters kissing each other on the chicken, like that. To see two men just walk up to each other and give each other a peck was bothersome to me. I'm sorry.
So it made you feel uncomfortable?
Oh, extremely uncomfortable.
Okay. Baby ever try to kiss you in the mouth?
I would have fucked Baby up. You know
it. Yeah, I mean, we actually found an old Rap City clip where Baby went and kissed everyone in the mouth.
Is that right?
Went down the line, yeah.
Wow.
It's a little different.
What can you do, my man? The world has been changing, baby.
Yeah. And, these days, well, I'm not sure if Baby's still managing Young Thug, but for a while he was.
Right.
And Young Thug, calls men his bae. And
right. I saw that in an article.
Wears dresses.
Right. Whenever I get to him in an article, I move the timeline up fast because I don't want to read nothing about that.
Okay. I mean, what do you think about the trend these days of men wearing dresses and that type of thing? For example, Jaden Smith is now the face of Louis Vuitton women's wear.
Well, I was talking about that today with a friend of mine in the car, right? And there was some allegations that Medina used to sex Will Smith. I don't know if you saw that. So
yeah, there was one of the Arquettes. There's a transgender person in the Arquette family that went out and made allegations about.
Right, and we don't know if it's true, but
we don't.
But I thought I knew Will, and a couple of his homies is my friends from the street of Philly. And I'm not saying when people hear this about, are he against gays or he against transgender or whatever, I just felt that when I saw that boy in the dress, and when I found out he was the face of whatever magazine it is, it bothered me.
It's not a magazine. It's Louis Vuitton women's wear.
Louis Vuitton's women's wear. I'm gonna say it fucked me up because it made me question what kind of man is Will Smith. Now I know the Magic Johnsons and everybody got to turn the other cheek. R. Kelly got to turn the other cheek because his daughter wants to be a man. Magic Johnson's son is, and I respect their thing. My opinion, me being who I am, I don't know how they feel. They have to accept it because that's their children. But man, I'm trying to figure out motherfuckers probably wasn't around because I got two girls, and I told them they ever turn gay, you better wait till I'm motherfucking dead. I better be in heaven before that shit. And everybody who's listening, that's my motherfucking opinion. That's the way I roll. That's the way I was brought up in the streets of Jersey City, New Jersey, and that's the way I move.
Okay, and you have what, 2 sons also?
I'll have 2 boys also, yes.
Okay, so if one of your boys showed up wearing a dress, what would you do?
Now, the reason why I can't fathom that in my head is because since my boys was young, I instilled in them about honesty and DNA and being a man's man. And that's just the way we move. I can't even think that way, because then that to me, that means I lack something as a parent, the way I was raised for that. Now, I'm not talking about everybody else. You know, everybody's going to take my answer here and change it to make them feel better or say TK is hating. No, I'm only concerned about the people that are close to me in that situation. And I know how I raised my children. Like I always say, who raised you? And it comes down to what parent, what mentor, what person that was in your life that guided you to where you are. And that's it.
It's interesting about people who show so much support for example, transgenders.
Yes.
And gays.
Yes.
But if you turn around and say, would you be okay with your kids? Would you want your kids to be transgender?
Absolutely not.
Most 99% of people would say I would prefer my kids not to be transgender.
Yes.
So I really wonder about how sincere this support is, as opposed to just wanting to sound PC.
I totally, and you're absolutely right. Most people, we are a society that has gotten weakened over the years. We feel that if we go with the flow, everything is correct. And when someone speaks their mind and tells the truth, they're a hater. They call something that you don't want to be called. And like I said, if transgender gays or whatever can live their life, then a person who is against it should be given the same respect and love and say, hey, that's your opinion. I have to respect it. Just because you don't agree with me doesn't make you a bad person.
Yeah. And it's interesting how, like, for example, Caitlyn Jenner and the whole
yes.
phenomenon.
And I used to run track with Bruce Jenner. When he was Bruce Jenner.
You used to run track with Bruce Jenner?
I was a track star. And when we used to run, he used to have a classic in San Jose, California called the Bruce Jenner Classic. And all the colleges and all that, we all ran there. This is in 81, 82. And you see Bruce doing his thing. Didn't have not one thing about him to make you think that. But what I told people, from the hustler's point of view, you really got to give Bruce his props. Because Bruce is a competitor, right? And Bruce sat around them Kardashian bitches for years and figured out, how can I out-pimp these bitches? And he found the way to make more money and be more popular than them. And it was, I'm gonna turn into a bitch. So he went and got a sex change, became them, because he saw all the free shit they was getting for years. Because you know, women get free shit. So he wanted to be a part of that. Bam. He didn't give a fuck about his kids. He didn't give a fuck about nobody else. His main soul was, like, to win the gold in the Olympics. His main thing was to be the top bitch within that home.
So you think that it was a strategic move for him to
it was strategic. He didn't
have
really want to do
titties.
it. He just couldn't let nobody outdo his ass. So that's what it came down to. He out-pimped their ass, yo.
Yeah, because I remember there were memes about this. Like, I guess on the same day that he announced the Caitlyn thing, I think Kim Kardashian announced that she was pregnant with a son, and like nobody cared.
Nobody cared. They're competing against each other. So this, and again, I'm gonna always go back. This is my opinion. Don't take shit out of and take it to left field. I just want people, when you hear me talk, I represent the streets. So when I talk from the street perspective, there is no left side or right side. Straight down the middle, I'm coming right at you. Play the player, pimp the pimp. And this is just what it is. We ain't gonna sugarcoat shit no more, because they don't let me in the game now. So I'm the people's comedian. So by being the people's comedian, I'm gonna say exactly how it is. I'm gonna tell the truth. And if you're a man's man, you agree. And if I'm wrong, I'm gonna be man enough to admit that I'm wrong.